Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you and the south bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between this evening. We are being broadcast live, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, and of course on YouTube World. Hello, YouTube. I hope y'all are having a good day, evening, afternoon, etc. And no matter how you are listening, make sure you stop in and say hi in one of the chat rooms, or send me an email to wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY @gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, please do so. You can do that at etsy.com/shop/Monarch Mountain Studio. That's MTN for mountain. Or you can go to patreon.com/TheSpacesBetween. Or I do have a cash tag. I keep forgetting the cash tag. It makes me giggle. It's a cash tag. It's $, the spaces between. Yeah. And it just supports my time, my ability to get stuff done, and yeah. And all that. So I hope you guys are having a good time. Go to iLife.com, where you can get iLife.com is your only source for iLife, which is the blending the best of the non-narcotic side of ayahuasca and CBD to help support your immune system and all the stuff that we desperately need right now. iLife.com. Let's see. Call line is open, and going to be intermittent with the picking up the calls, just because I do have some people calling in for purpose, because there's some things to talk about, because it is the full moon, and we just got some things to talk about, because yes we do. But that number is 213-233-3998, or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44203-393-2871. So hello. I see people are kind of trickling into the chat rooms, and that's awesome. I'm sure some of y'all are still in the portal. Ironically, we're talking about closing the portal tonight. No, it's the veil is thin. So, time to talk about the veil. What is it really? I'm going to talk about drawing down the moon, which is a pretty important ritual. And then also a little bit of history with witchcraft and such. And I don't know, we'll just see how it goes. It seems like we always get a question or two that kind of takes us where we gotta go. Yes. So that's all I wanted to go on about initially. I think so. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a long day. I did a healing or energetic healing thing for a gal today, and I always forget just how much those can wipe me out until I'm doing them, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's what that was. And now I need a nap. Ugh, excuse me. This is why I'd really have Don on the show with me, because hey, you know what? He can fill in the blanks and kind of do his own thing for a little bit, and I can just refocus, because hey, sometimes we just gotta refocus. So yeah, Lucky is on hold. She's gonna talk a little bit about the history of witches and witchcraft and such, because yeah, we need a little bit of history. And yeah, so hold on, let me get to where I need to go. Boom. Hello, Lucky. At least I hope this is Lucky. Hello. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It is morning here. Hi, everybody. Happy Samhain. 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 Samhain.
Samhain.
Happy Halloween.
All Hallows
Uh,
Eve.
yeah, it's that one. I know.
Yeah, Samhain. I actually.
Guess what I'm doing? I'm posting.
Yeah, you're posting things. I it's really funny today at work. I was sweeping the front step in front of the store, and we had people run up. They're like, "Hey, happy Samhain!" I'm like, "Oh, you even saw it right!" It's just a kind of a happy moment. I'm a dork. I get it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think it's funny how what they've done. What they've done is they've changed the letters and everything. How we're supposed to pronounce things, and we're not supposed to go with what they sound like, what the letters sound like. Mm-hmm. They've done it on purpose to confuse the hell out of us.
Oh, they do a great job.
And confuse everybody so that we don't know. What's that?
So they've done a great job. We're all very confused.
Oh yes, they have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it still gets me all the time, and because I pride myself on reading properly, and oh wow, so that's just total. I would just rather everybody just read Cyrillica, okay? If you could read Cyrillica, you pronounce every character exactly the same all the time. You pronounce it all the same. Yeah, the same all the time. There is no silences. There's no, oh no, this is how you pronounce it when it follows this. It's pronounced like that. No. It's all pronounced. Period. So, right. Only the English language is so discombobulated. No, actually, there's a lot of languages. Never mind. Anyway, so I just wanted to wish everybody a wonderful Halloween, and as it marks a new year of luck, which I do know, I'm pretty well versed on luck too. I'm hoping that everybody gets as much fortune and boons this coming year as I have had. Okay, and I'm just wishing that for everybody out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, good or bad, because even the people who have acted badly, even them, you know why? Because maybe it's this boon or this fortune that they need so that they can have that positive change in their lives. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And it has been just an odd year, and I'm hoping people are learning things and doing the thing. I hope they're doing the things to cause the healing, to be the better people that they need to be.
Exactly, I agree totally. There was a lot of negativity for a long time, and unfortunately, I can understand why people would put out negative, because they've been getting all these negative stuff. But maybe it's time, because a lot of us has gone through the mirror, if you will. We've walked through the mirror, and a lot of our lives have changed. And where we used to be activists, and we wouldn't dream of taking a dime for the work that we do on a volunteer basis. Now we're like, yeah, I'm worth money, so yeah, it's okay to pay me. It's okay to send money to Paisley. It's okay to send money to whomever. And I'll tell you why. Because why not? Mm-hmm. If it's just money, then yeah, why not? Right? So, and we all are worth a lot. And money in itself, it's not really going to be representative of what you're worth anyway, because you're worth the whole universe. Mm-hmm. What if just a few dollars? Mm-hmm. You're getting a whole universe of information and experience. And I mean, if you think of all the information in our DNA, I mean, wow, that's a whole lot of information. And if you're getting any part of that, that's a wealth of information. So it's a fortune. Yes. So, yeah, anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is that I think we should be sharing the wealth and use, and it's kind of like priming the pump. That's what I mean to say. Okay, so, if you, whenever you had to, back in the old days when we had pumps, when we could get water pumps, right? Mm-hmm. You had to take some water and pour it down the pipe and pump while you were pouring that water down. And what that does is it's called priming the pump so that you can draw more water out through the piping. And that's how it worked. I think the same is true of fortune or boons or luck. You have to give luck. You have to give some in order to get it back. And that's into the universe rather than just, it's not a superstition. It's a spiritual principle. I think it's also because if you're putting out luck, then you're going to receive luck. If we put out the energy magnets, if you will, we draw things to us. We could draw bad luck to us because we're so negative and ugly, but then again, if you put out this positive energy, you're going to receive it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did not mean to go this route.
It's okay. It needed to be said. You do reap what you sow, and it's one of those things, or not only just reap what you sow, but you also see what you're looking for. So if you are, putting your positive energy out there, quite often you're actively looking for it also, or trying to experience it, or spend time around it, and you're more likely to see it. But on the flip side, if you're pushing out negative energy all the time and you're looking for that negativity, often that's exactly what you're going to find and see and experience. I know someone who's very stressed about racism up here in North Idaho, partly because she married into a Native American family, and so her kids are blended, and she's day-glow white, and so she sees racism a lot. Now, I think some of it is perceived racism rather than true racism, and it's frustrating because she's like, "Oh, it's so racist here, blah blah blah, growl growl, bark bark, whine whine, great great," and it's like, per capita, the racism here is nothing like it is in other communities. Is there some? Yes. I'm not saying there isn't, but it's not near as bad as she perceives it to be. And she's like, "Oh no, since you're not, raising, kids that look different, you don't understand." And it's like, well, I've been in the special needs community. Used to be really active in the special needs community. Now I know how people treat those that they perceive as different, and it's not just one group. And here locally, no, the per capita racism is nothing like it is in other communities. Nothing. And but because that's what she's looking for and expects to see, then yeah, by golly, that's exactly what she's seeing. And it's really unfortunate because there's a lot of people out there, they're oblivious is their bigger crime. Is not so much that they are truly that way. It's just they are oblivious. So.
Exactly. And, that's another thing, too. It's also another principle. You're saying that they're a bit oblivious. Right. And here's the problem with that. We're supposed to be paying attention to our surroundings. And I'm not just talking about just witches. I mean, everybody is supposed to be paying attention to your surroundings. You're supposed to see all the beauty. You're supposed to see the weather changing. You're supposed to be able to notice things. So you can't be oblivious to, aspects of just racial things. I mean, I know some people who look for that problem, racial things or some kind of injustice, injustice du jour, if you will. And I just, we can't be oblivious. We have to be mindful of where we are. We have to be mindful of our actions, and even the frequency. What's that word? Hang on a second. The ripple effect, if you will, as it goes out. So we should be mindful and everything. But I think today is supposed to be a day of celebration. I think a lot of people have been celebrating, and people who normally don't celebrate Halloween or Samhain and the spiritual principles that we have. Okay, I'm hearing the noises in my community. I shouldn't say community, but it's actually the boonies. But I can hear a good distance.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that there's a lot of people totally different. People are celebrating, they're doing things, they're having fires and everything like that. And I'm like, oh, is my vision going to come true? The one that I had back in 94, or no, 92, 90, I forget when it was, what year. It was back in the 90s where, I saw this vision. I had this vision that we were flying on a motorcycle before the Harry Potter thing came out, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I swear it was before Harry Potter ever came out. So we were flying on a motorcycle over the Appalachian Mountains, and I looked down and I saw bonfires, and Christians and witches were working together to fight against this evil that was going on. And I think it's happening, folks. I really think it's happening, and I'm like, yay, because
I think you're right.
Okay, so we have different spirits, right? We have different spirits that we all look to, all right? And there's so many different names. Okay, so maybe, I don't know, I thought you were about to say something, I'm sorry. Maybe maybe it might be just a thing about nomenclature. Perhaps that could be it, because there's a lot of people that are in the churches and they talk about God. They're talking about the Creator. A lot of them, I'm finding out that they're not believing in that, the evil one that has usurped the creation story.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not know that it's a pantheon, but they are understanding that there's a creator that is love, and it's not necessarily male or female. It could be both. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, at least that step is taken. So I'm really excited about that, because since the Romans, the Roman Church has totally destroyed what we know as truth in the West anyway, regarding the religion or the pantheon that we had. Mm-hmm. Since they've done such a great job at destroying it, they used all methods to do it, and they've destroyed the relationships between generations of pagans, generations of witches. I shudder to think about what my mom went through in parochial school. Mm-hmm. All right. So, here's the thing. Just for instance, we're not even going to talk about spirituality. Just for instance, okay. She did not know what menstruation was until she started it. Mm-hmm. Okay. In parochial school. And if you think that being in a co-ed school is bad, try being in a non-co-ed school and with a bunch of girls tittering at the fact that mother had her period the first time in class. Okay. And they had that, the school, the plaid skirts and everything like that. So things were not pleasant for her that day, let's say. And the nuns were even more horrible. So, what I mean to say is that there is a generation gap, not a generation gap, but a separation, a division between, your grandmother's. Like, I never met my grandparents. Okay, so I don't have any of the historical lore to go with. I don't have my family ancestors to know about. I'm beginning to learn these things now from my mother, but wow, 5 decades later, I have to learn it now. So what I mean to say is that the church and the usurper has done a great job at dividing us, and not only from each other and so in society, but also in families and generations. Think of all the lore that I could have used up until now. And it's not just me. This has happened all over the world.
Yeah, it has.
Everywhere this has gone. And it started way back. I didn't know I had my speakers on. Sorry about that. It started way back, like the 1200s, I think it was, when the reason why the persecution took place so easily is there was a law that was changed. In Europe, in ancient Europe, it used to be that if you accused somebody of a crime, such as witchcraft, okay, if you accused somebody of a crime, and there was no merit or basis for that accusation, you got punished for the crime that they would have suffered had that been true. So if the burnings and the hangings and the tests, if you will, none of that would have happened had they not changed that law. If you accuse somebody of thievery, you would get punished for it if there was no basis for that. So now, after they made that change, then people started becoming jealous of the women, especially aged women or older women who were wise women. And they oftentimes they were widows and they inherited the land. They had just as much rights to land as the others. And they had land, and that was a very enviable thing to have. A piece of property, riches, whatever have you, anything. And now that I'm in menopause, I understand, the power that comes along with it. And there's some people that don't like that kind of power. Mothers-in-law would get accused of witchcraft. So what would happen is that if you were convicted of witchcraft, you lost everything. All your land was gone, your assets were gone. It was all taken away by the person who accused you. Well, then the Catholic Church said, hey, wait a minute. We're missing out on some business. And most of the real estate that the Catholic Church has today is from the witch craze in Europe. And it's a horrific thing that happened. I mean, 9 million women were murdered under the witch craze. And it was, when I say murdered, I'm not talking about a death sentence like injection, something peaceful like that. No. After a long torture, where, and if anybody's been tortured before, I'm going to let you know right now, you will say anything to make the torture stop. Okay? So all those little things that they were saying, all those little details that they were writing these books about, saying that witches admitted that they were flying on broomsticks and that they were kissing Satan's ass and they were doing all these things, right? The reason why they were doing it is they were being tortured and they were being raped at night. It was not a pleasant experience. And if you're out there and you're hearing my words and you think that I might be full of it, go ahead and check out, especially the Catholics. If you're out there and you're Catholic, I want you to check out what happened to Saint Joan of Arc, okay? Yeah. And see what happened to her. Find out the history on that. She went through that very same thing. It's an ugly, ugly mark on our history as human beings, what's been done to other people. And so the thing is, like I said, 9 million women, and it wasn't just women. Sorry, I should make sure that it's clearly put. It wasn't just women. The husbands of these women, the children of these women, relatives of these women, anybody who got caught talking to these women, they would all be considered guilty. And the test for it, if you had a birthmark, that was called a witch's tit. Okay? A birthmark, or a mole. What happens when you get older? You get moles and things like that, or, God forbid, if you got a wart. Okay? That's also considered a witch's teat. All right? And that was an automatic conviction. So, yes, I do know that, that Joan of Arc did lead a French army to victory. She was useful in her powers that she had and her foresight and things like that, and her ability to motivate the French troops, talking about Joan of Arc.
That was beneficial.
She did
to
lead
the
them
church,
to victory. She
right
also,
up until it wasn't suddenly beneficial to the church, and she started thinking for herself. So, yeah.
Bingo. Exactly. And so she was betrayed over and over and over again. So when in Burgundy, I think it was in Burgundy, is when she was put in prison and betrayed to the Brits or English, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. So, yeah, that's just one case. That's just one case, and that's in France. And so somebody was asking yesterday in the chat on, on part one, about the truth about what's called American Horror Story, and was there any truth to those stories about and the powers that these people had from the lineage from the Salem witch trials to today down in Louisiana? I think it's a bunch of bunk. I think it is a bunch of Hollywood, taking a story and just stretching it out and twisting it up and dressing it up and playing with it. That's all. And Hollywood and the church has made a lot of money off of the witch craze and the demonization of witches.
Hey, Lucky, I'm gonna. Lucky, guess what?
Break time.
Yeah.
It's first break already.
Wow.
Right?
That was fast.
I know, right? It just tonight the weekend is screaming by. All right, so we will be right back, and we'll pick this back up. Thanks, Lucky.
You're welcome.
So mote it be the spell forever done.
Mother of light, earth beneath our soul in flight.
my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between on this lovely, awesome blue moon, full moon, Halloween 2020. I gotta tell you, if we all woke up and fairies and elves and mythological beings were everywhere in the morning, is 2020, I would not be surprised at all.
Who had fairies for 2020?
I don't know,
Come
but in November, right? So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I've been talking about the show tonight and how I wanted to discuss, the veil and energy portals and such, and so I figured we might as well just kind of start. So what?
Was Lucky off the phone?
Yes, Lucky is off the phone.
Oh, okay.
So she talked about the history bit, and because I think it's very, very important for us to understand our history. Very important to understand our history in order to not repeat it. Because if you don't get the history, you're going to repeat the history, and you're going to repeat it until you learn it. Why do you think so many people get reincarnated doing the same stupid things over and over and over and over again? It's because they didn't learn the first time, or the second, or third, or fourth. So, learn from your history, guys. Period. And gals. All y'all. So, what is a spirit or energy portal? Well, it's a doorway. Or a gate. Specifically for spirits or energy. I mean, it's really...
The same thing.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a door that energy flows through. And it's often not a physical, tangible door. It's an intangible thing because it's an energy door. And the veil, so as we've approached Halloween, people have been saying, oh, hey, the veil is thinning, and you don't really know what the veil is. It's like, all right, so what is that? So the veil basically is an ethereal curtain that separates the physical world that we are in now from basically the afterlife. Some consider it, the realm of magic, depending on your interpretation. But on the other side of the veil is often where those that have passed on reside, whether it's your ancestors or it's just basically anybody who's gone before and died and hasn't been reborn again recently. So yeah, that's where they are. And regardless of your faith or your tradition, all of the afterlives are on the other side of the veil. Not afterlives, afterlife, the place where the souls go. Those are all on the other side of the veil. And so when the veil is thinning, often that's when we're able to communicate with them more. Because they're kind of like hanging out. So this veil is a very, very thin shield, separating the mortal world from the post-mortal world. And it's kind of like a drape or a curtain, and it separates, us from them.
So
the dividing point between the seen and the unseen, if you will, might be the easier way to explain it.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Oh, I can hear me.
Yeah, but
Okay.
You're not actually speaking into your microphone.
I am now.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm trying.
Okay.
Is there something wrong with my microphone?
I don't know.
Check.
Oh, hey, there you are.
But
Maybe the cat stepped on it.
that's possible. It's funny because Mini Musings called in a little earlier, and Sean called into the portal. They both called into the portal, and Mini Musings brought up a couple ideas too. Is that it's not necessarily just the veil of here in the afterlife either. It could also be like the veil to Alfheim.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the veil to Asir. It could be any of those veils that hide those other worlds as well. So that's important to remember. But there's that. But also that it's not necessarily thinnest tonight. It's thinning
Mm-hmm.
My camera. There we go. It's theanine. I got chicken on my microphone. It's theanine throughout winter. And where would you say it's 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 most thinnest?
Honestly, I would say it's most thinnest now, like right now, and then just like the ticking of a clock. We're at midnight right now, and we'll be at noon for Beltane, and then we'll be back at midnight now. So it's the time is constantly turning, or ebbing and flowing. So it's thinnest now, and it'll start getting thicker and thicker and thicker until about midwinter, and then it starts coming back. So
Right,
but
exactly, around Yuletide.
yeah, and so it varies. So Lewis says Christmas is when it's thinnest, but that varies. It depends on your tradition and how you're taught. So yeah, it depends on how you're taught. For me, I was taught hi paradox fossils, artifacts, and coins. That's a new one. Hello.
It was one of the portal people.
The portal peeps. So yeah, there's some interpretation to when the veil is thinnest, depending on how you're being taught. I was taught that Halloween, Samhain, is when it's thin. So yeah, it does kind of it varies with how you're taught, and with a lot of the intuitive nature of paganism and this type of activity, it is open to interpretation. Unfortunately, so. But yeah, as the veil thins, why does it thin? It's just because the days are getting shorter. The natural world is withdrawing, if you will, from. Sorry, I have notes, but there's a cat. To withdraw from the realm of life and growth, so the trees have begun to shed their leaves, and the cold stillness of winter sets in, and the change kind of reminds us, or is supposed to remind us, that we should be in tune with the afterlife, and it's just another part of life itself. It's not something that we should be aware, afraid of. And yes, paradox fossils. Multiple hubs or multiple portals would be called a hub. So, yeah. But there's, I think, part of the interpretation, I think, for, when is it exactly the thinnest, has a little bit to do with a regional thing, and when things start to get cold and the leaves fall. So I know, like here, most of the leaves are off the trees, and except for today's weather was fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
It's been pretty cold. Yeah, winter is rapidly approaching. So, but now again, it happens again in the spring. Oh, heavens to Betsy!
What?
There's a Yahweh on your face.
A Yahweh. I have a Yahweh on my face.
Yahweh. Oops.
Ow. That's just wrong on so many levels.
Oops. I
Yahweh.
misspoke. Yahweh.
Not Yahweh. Wow.
You had a skunk ape sitting on your face there.
Oh, wow.
Okay, apparently I've had too much coffee,
It's
too much chocolate, and I'm starting. Yeah,
It's those horns on your head.
yeah. Well,
I can't believe you've kept them there all day.
they've actually stayed there all day. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
We were headbanging and everything earlier, listening to the Hue.
The who?
The Hue. So yeah, it was good. It was fun. So it was great. Actually, it was a fantastic day at work. It was fantastic weather. It's been just a really good day. I've just experienced maybe a little too much sugar and caffeine today, and feeling a little bit of a crash because, yeah, that happens. So, why, why is thinning of the veil an important thing? It is because, it's when often our perceptions, our intuitions, our connection to the supernatural strengthens. Your psychic abilities, especially those who are new to this world, and the abilities are developing.
Define new to this world.
New, their abilities are awakening.
Oh.
Not so much that they're new to being a pagan. No, just they're new to their abilities.
No, I meant like you, because my brain went to like a new soul to the world, a new energy.
Gotcha. No, just they're just new to the ability, and so often they are able to or start experiencing the opening of the veil or the ability to communicate and tap into their psychic abilities and perceptions more right now. And then it's often, like Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead and communing with the ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times now is when like the dumb dinners are happening, the dumb suppers. Talked about those last night. And just honoring the ancestors, because you're letting, or you're communicating, you're honoring, and you're accepting, or more accepting of that energy. Because generally in the fall, if the harvest has gone well, historically, or things are just going okay, it's you're celebrating and you're not stressed out because it's not the end of winter and it's not the beginning of spring, and you're not as busy in farm life, trying to get stuff done because the calves are coming, or butcher season is done.
The celebration
that kind
of harvest is the finish of the hard work, and now you can reap the benefits of your hard work.
So basically, you're not as stressed about it,
Right.
and because stress often shuts down our abilities to sense other things. I mean,
Oh no, I agree.
it's like if you're driving down the road and you don't know where you're going really, and you need to understand your directions. You've been listening to the radio. How many of you turn the radio off or down?
Yeah, when you come up to a turn.
It's like, oh, do I turn here? I got to turn the music down. So it's that distraction is there. It's not because you can't see with the radio on. It's just because there's a distraction. It's harder to focus. So, and that's really all it is. It's harder to focus on those abilities,
Right.
when there's so much going on. So, in theory, right now it's not as stressful. And
Your
in
microphone
theory.
sounds so much better tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. The cat played with it earlier when I tested it out with Lucky.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
so thinning of the veil.
Thinning of the veil. So, that was the basic thinning of the veil, and what it is. And so right now, with everything being normal, the thinning of the veil, is just when you can communicate with the dead or those on the other side, or you tap into your abilities a little bit more right now. 2020, everything's an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for it to no longer be 2020. Then what are we going to blame all the adventure on?
Apparently, me.
2020 2.0? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, it's just going to be, yeah.
So I would like to remind everybody that Mad Max was set in 2021. So, whew,
Didn't that one go like sideways really fast?
yeah.
Like the first movie, they were not too crazy, and then by the end of the movie, everybody was, dressing like Tina Turner, and
Well, they were dressing like Mad Max, but whatever.
you get my point.
Tokata.
And then from there, it just went, yeah, like it escalated quickly. So, so yeah, the veil. That's the veil. We talked about the veil. D says yes, it is yours. Strangeland. Blue moon, what's the significance? Not familiar. So the blue moon, mostly, okay, with the calendar, there's 12 months, but there are generally 13 moons in the year, so there's almost always an overlap of some sort. And the blue moon just means it's the second moon of the month. Of the month. So, and this year we have a blue moon on Halloween. So, and it's daylight savings time here in the U.S. So we get an extra hour of insanity. But the full moon often has a slightly different energy. It's a longer term energy. So if you're going to make your moon water, you should have it out. For those of you who
Do you
are
have yours out, by the way?
Nope, I was going to do it before I went to sleep tonight.
I need fresh moon water.
Do you want lemon in it?
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
This one's mine. You can't have it.
Whatever.
Yeah. It has lemon in it, so there. But yeah, moon water, the moon water that is made from during the blue moon often has longer term energy that takes, so if you use it in a ritual, for instance, it takes longer for that energy to fade.
So explain what it's used for.
Moon water is used in spells. It's used for anointing, in christenings, hand fastings, burial rites, in addition to spells.
So like
blessings.
anointing, like, like on the forehead, like Christians do?
Yeah, basically. Moon water is the pagan version of holy water. It's the same thing. It's holy water. It's just the pagan version. So,
no, not lemon kush, Paradox. Come on.
Now, when it comes to water in general, so just real quick, yeah, we got time. Everything in the world has an energetic signature. It doesn't matter if it's your local stray cat or the gravel you're walking upon or anything like that. Everything has an energetic signature. And often, to help ourselves, we need some of that energy. That's why people carry crystals and stones in their pockets or have crystals and stones around them. I mean, you've got some behind me. You can't really see, or maybe you can, I don't know. But I've got them all over. Some of those stones, you want that energetic, or that energy from the crystals and stones, but they're not really good for you to ingest. So be careful of the stones that you put in water when you're drinking that water, because, for instance, like a bumblebee jasper, very, very beautiful. It's a gray, yellow, and white stone. The yellow is caused by sulfur and the white by cyanide, and you don't really want that in your water. You'll enjoy it once. Just like every mushroom could be eaten once, you may not ever get a repeat. So yeah, just that's why if you do put stones or crystals and you want that energy, infusing into your water, you want to make sure you have the right water vessel. There's quite a few things out there. INU, Vitajoule both make really nice glass water bottles with a
containment
a chamber where you can put crystals and gems in there to help infuse your water with that energy. And it's really cool. Yeah, it's just really, really cool.
Well, and you can get stirrers that you can put rocks into, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crystals and rocks into.
Yep. And yeah, moon water can be bottled. I keep mine bottled because I don't want cat hair in it. And you make sure you label it appropriately so people like Don don't drink your moon water. Some people do make moon water and they put other things in it like salt or crystals or gems or stones or intention papers or things like that, herbs. And they're using the moon energy to bless the water with all these different things in it, which is cool.
You don't need to do it when you can do it when you're ready for that particular ritual.
Sometimes the ritual or the spell needs that activation from the moon energy. But if you do that, make sure you label it "Don't drink." Okay, Alice, this isn't the Looking Glass. You don't want to drink that. So just be aware. And but yeah, I generally just do the water, and then I add the water to other things later. And often, like, I've got a bottle of moon water and a tequila bottle from a spring equinox that happened to be
Eclipse.
an eclipse. So the energy to that particular bag of water or bottle of water is different than your moon water from 4th of July or whatever. So the energy is a little bit different. Himalayan salt is really good too. You don't necessarily have to have that cleansed in the moonlight. You can charge it, absolutely. Selenite is a stone that you don't have to cleanse because it is self-cleansing.
It is a cleanser.
It's like washing the soap. I suppose if there's a hair on it, but generally speaking, it's you're putting your other stones and crystals and your tools, your jewelry or whatever on the selenite to cleanse it. You can do it in the salt too. Salt is generally considered very, very, very cleansing. And so yeah, you cleanse the things. You don't necessarily have to cleanse the cleaners. And then Lewis is asking, is moon water safe for drinking? Well, it depends.
What'd you put in it?
What's the source for your moon water? If you're just getting it out of your faucet and you're putting it in a clean container, well, maybe not this one because this is translucent rather than transparent.
And depends on, even if you get it out of your tap, it depends on what your city or whatever is put into it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, most major cities, if I can avoid it, I would avoid drinking the water. Because, of course, other things in it like fluoride and chlorine aren't good for you to begin with. And, you don't know if you put something in it. If you put something into that water, you don't know if that water's gonna
So if you can get spring water is good. I would avoid distilled water just because distilled water is pretty dead anyways.
Dead water.
Although charging it in the moonlight, you're at least going in the right direction. But if you can get some spring water, that's good. Coke bottle with a cork. Mason jars are good. Anything like that. Yeah. I generally use glass containers rather than plastic just because plastic can leach different chemicals into the water. If you have a plastic container, for instance, and it's got water in it, and you put that plastic container on cement, and there's arsenic in the ground, it can pull that arsenic right through the cement, through the plastic, and into your water, and that kind of mucks up your moon water and turns it into more of a toxin water. So yeah, just be aware, where you're storing it also.
Right. So, but Dee says I use purified water. Well, that depends on how you purify it too, because once again, even if you're not boiling it to distill it, taking the minerals out of it is killing it. I mean, it's the minerals and those kind of things that continue to keep that water alive. You can purify the crap out of water. You can run it through. The only thing that takes fluoride out of water really is there's two things. And most of the time when you buy a water purifying pitcher or some kind of system like that, it's usually aluminum that you're putting your water through. The other one is coconut, but they're more expensive, believe it or not. So purified water, yeah, okay, but it's still dead water, even if they go back and because if you buy your purified water, sometimes it'll say minerals added, after purification. That's still good, but why kill the water in the first place? So that's just my opinion.
If you can collect water from like rainwater, depending if you're in a place where the water is not toxic anyways, and be careful when you're boiling water because often you're not really distilling the water, or you're not
just concentrating the crap they put in it.
Yeah, so just be aware.
So boiling it, but boiling and distilling are two different things.
Yep, boiling will kill germs. So yeah, just I'm not a water expert. I don't play one on TV. Do your research and talk to the experts and
So there's two people in chat right now that you should probably talk to.
Is that be
one
Pharmacy and the other one's Justin?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So Justin Goodearth and Carlton at Pharmacy Seeds Network, very very good at giving the right information on, micro farming and doing the stuff that you need to do to grow good stuff and drink good water. And you know what?
It's break already?
It's break time already.
Wow.
Yeah. And, wow, cold. That's very cold. So, yeah. So when we come back, no bumper music. We'll play the bowl. We'll talk a little bit more about the Veil and energy portals. And then I'm going to see if I can get Deb to call in. See you in a bit. Oh, you're freaking out the cat. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. You guys totally missed it on break. Dawn was playing the
Bigfoot call.
The Bigfoot call. Kazoo.
It's not a kazoo.
It
It's a
sure
Bigfoot
sounds
call.
like a kazoo. And I startled the cat that was sitting on the desk. She totally levitated. It was awesome. And now she's completely freaked out. All right, so. Ba-bum. This is the singing bowl, guys. Deep cleansing breaths on this full moon.
Okay, enough silence.
It wasn't silence.
It was silence.
It was. I could still hear it.
Enough silence.
Not my fault. You're going deep.
Come on now.
What?
Okay,
I'm going
back to it.
back to it. Alrighty, where was I? So when the veil is thin, as it is tonight, yeah, you're probably going to find yourself more in tune with the energy. So if you are already someone who is sensitive to the spirits out there, you're more like, you may have some odd dreams tonight, guys. The energy is there, and they're going to really, reach across and say hello and, shake your cage. Sorry, it's going to happen. All right. Common portals, or energy portals, just generally they happen, pretty much anywhere that has enough focused energy to create the portal, or the gap in the veil. And there are some locations that are more likely to become portals. That's where, there's a lot of spirit activity. And that may be where spirits cross over often, like hospitals or nursing homes. That's going to be often, there's probably going to be a portal there. A home or studio where a psychic witch or pagan might work or be or do things could become a portal also. And a portable tree, it's a crescent moon. Yeah, crescent moon. I had to double check. I haven't looked at it all day. So yes. So other places that might become portals, they're just where, a little bit easier to have a connection to those other dimensions, or a thinner spot in the veil. Mirrors, windows, doorways, any place that's, a highly connected space. The literally it's the spaces in between. So a doorway is a doorway is a doorway is a doorway. And sometimes a doorway is a opening into another room. Sometimes it might be an opening into another field or dimension. Wardrobes or closets with doors. So if your kids are afraid of what might be in the closet at night, there actually may be something to that. So just be aware. Waterfalls are often portals, just because of the energy that transition. Rivers or streams. Also, fissures in the earth, so think canyons or caves. Fire pits or fireplaces can also be portals, just because of the intense energy.
Diagonally.
Yes, Harry Potter.
Sorry.
Yes.
I had to throw that in there.
No, I was actually a ways waiting for something. I knew you were going to do something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Ley lines. Ley lines can be portal generators. Absolutely. Geological events could be. You can put a hole in the veil. Just like strong atmospheric events. So think Bermuda Triangle. Anyone. So is it the Bermuda Triangle causing those atmospheric events, or the atmospheric events causing the Bermuda Triangle? Which is the chicken, which is the egg?
Questions to ponder.
Now, a lot of people, especially those that don't listen to my show or Paranormal Portal, or people who are not aware of the supernatural at all, assume that any open portal is obviously going to lead you straight to hell and demons are going to come out of it. But you know what? That's not necessarily true. Because portals are often just an entryway into another dimension, a different reality, just a different space. It's not necessarily hell. So, either two L's or one L. Although, it could be a portal to the underworld also. So, yeah, it's kind of like not all witches are Wiccans and not all Wiccans are witches, but pretty much all Wiccans are witches. So, yeah, it's same kind of thing. And, the laws when it comes to the spirit world are often pretty much complex and detailed and not things that most of us understand or know. And, not all of those spirit portals will admit all beings. So, my dad actually had a theory on Bigfoot 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and felt that Bigfoot was a transdimensional being.
There are plenty of people who say that.
And that's why Bigfoot comes and goes and is the ultimate Bigfoot hunter, or not Bigfoot hunter, hide and seek player, is because he can just duck into different portals. So, yeah, it just, there's, people don't necessarily have the ability to go through a Bigfoot portal. But can you think how scary it would be if you accidentally stumbled through one and suddenly you're the Littlefoot?
There are people who have said that they have ended up being the guest of Bigfoots and Sasquatches.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but then again, you can also, fairy rings.
Yeah, exactly, fairy rings.
Mm-hmm. There have been plenty of
Underhill
stories of people, stepping into a fairy ring and disappearing for a period of time, or coming back, having experienced being gone for a very long time and coming back in the same time that they left. So,
or vice versa, they are gone for a very long time, but to them it wasn't very long at all.
Yeah.
Naysay says the laws of the metaphysical are like getting into the quantum. There's more inconsistencies than consistencies. So yeah, or constants. Yeah, they're definitely a variable thing, and just because you understand the logic of one particular spirit portal does not necessarily mean that that logic is going to transfer into a different.
Sure enough, yeah. You may end up in, talking to the Cheshire Cat. That doesn't make any damn sense.
Exactly. And then, so how do you tell where the spirit portals are? Well, you can buy the high-techy equipment, absolutely. Or, if you have a sudden and unexplained change in temperature, that can definitely indicate where there may be a poltergeist activity, or a haunting, maybe, or a spirit visitation of some sort. Generally, those are considered cold spots. Generally. Certain psychic sensitive individuals are also often able to feel cold spots in cemeteries, especially at gravesites, morgues, and other places where death is commonly present. In a lot of haunted houses, there's a room or area, often the site of a tragic death, not necessarily tragic as in violent, but tragic as in unnecessary or unexpected, murder or suicide, where the temperature may be lower, and then the electromagnetic readings are higher than in other parts of the dwelling. And so this is often referred to as the heart of the house or the heart of the home, or building, and often will be the location where a lot of the phenomena start, like the poltergeist activity or spirit manifestations. Um, yeah, Deb. Deb's someone who can call in and check. Yeah, Deb, you can call in. You want to call in? Call
Are
in,
you
Deb.
watching the call board?
I am watching the call board.
Okay.
Let's see. Now, there are some that believe that working with Ouija boards or holding seances to contact spirits of deceased ones can create or unlock a door through which a summoned spirit can enter or leave our plane of existence. Yes, very much true. Now, I generally don't recommend using a Ouija board just because you operate them at your own risk.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know how to close out the session, don't open it. And don't go to someone's very first seance. Go if you're going to have someone do a seance for you, use someone who's done this before a few times.
Guess what?
Titan asks a question.
Titan has a question. Titan says, Paisley Dawn, when doing spirit box sessions, is that a form or type of portal? Should one know how to open and close a session? The answer is yes, because here's why. Spirit box sections are performed in the spaces between.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, you want to set intention. You want to set your protections. There's a lot of people who don't necessarily agree that it's just airwaves and energy manipulation. But what is a portal? It's energy manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I mean, if you're going to dabble correctly. Yes, there should be always an opening, just like a Ouija board. There's an opening and a closing, ritual, ceremony, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be like, 5 minutes of praying and chanting. It could just be a simple, call to your deity or,
Mm-hmm.
your ancestors or whatever, and say, help protect this portal as we open it. And then, of course, a call to close it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be that easy.
You
Ouija
don't
boards.
overcomplicate it.
Yeah, the Ouija boards. They say, you're supposed to, do this on the board, then go to goodbye. That kind of thing. Yes, I would say, why not? I mean, say goodbye. But also close that portal verbally. Put that vibration out there and say
intention.
this session is closed. You are no longer allowed to stay on this side of the veil. Please return and goodbye. Something like that.
But generally speaking, don't invest in the Ouija board. Let's see. So, and Naysay says, more times than not, when contacting an entity of this world, they're not the ones crossing the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Yet some entities or humans can also open and close them. So,
true. Yeah.
All right. So, I do believe Miss Deb Varner is on the line. Hello, Deb. Are you there? Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, I did hit the button right. I had to double check. It's like, wait. How's it going?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How are you this lovely, fantastic evening?
I am great, actually. Not sleepy at all.
Did you get a nap?
No, I'm just hopped up on tea and coffee.
Yep.
I understand. So, you have a lot more experience in working with spirits than I do. What do you recommend? What are your suggested guidelines?
Well, I mean, I just do basic on anything that I do. I don't try to. People talk about, you use a spell to close a portal. You use a ritual to. No, I always carry my sweet little ghost box with me, and I use prayers for most everything that I do. It's just very simple. I do get called in to check out houses and stuff to see if there's anything going on. I have found quite a few portals. What's really unusual is a lot of the people don't want the portals closed. They're excited when they find out that that's what's going on. It's like they just want to make sure that, yeah, we do have spirits. And they're like, no, just leave it alone. It's cool. I'm like, okay, well, if, things get bad or anything happens, just call me back. Mm-hmm. One story is there was one at the house where my friend lived, and we really didn't mess with it. It was just a case of, she was interested in spirits, so she knew, they were coming and going, and as long as everything was fine, she was good. She got forced to leave by the guy who owns the house. And normally I'm a very nice person, but because he was not very nice to them, it was a case of once everything was out of the house, I gave everybody free will to come through the portal if they wanted. To this day, no one is living back in that house.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But, well, I don't know. I have no sympathy for people who are very disrespectful and do not treat other people kindly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But, I, closed a few because people didn't want to deal with any more, the spirits and stuff. It's an everyday thing. And while we're at it, you were talking about earlier, our people who are awakening. The closer we have gotten to this blue moon, the more people I have been talking to about their gifts and how to use them. And it's like, okay, everybody wants to know what's going on now. Mm-hmm. So I've known this energy stuff were going to be really, really powerful during this full blue moon. And I've actually kind of enjoyed, being able to bring them on over, to join in with the rest of us. So,
yeah, it's. I've noticed an increase in people just because I work in a store where people are attracted to that kind of energy and trying to find their path and such. There's been a definite increase in people saying, hey, I'm feeling things differently. I'm experiencing things differently. The energy is different, and I don't understand what's going on. And what do I do? And it's like, so basically, we started everybody off with quartz, amethyst, and tourmaline. And it's like, all right, this is your basic your basic beginner steps, your baby steps, and start journaling and doing some research. So. Not just come in and talk to us.
And that's funny, though, because, I've been hearing a lot of, I haven't seen a lot of that, a lot of, activity, or, there have been less people coming around talking about possible gifts. So, maybe it's also regional, too, because there are some people who are seeing an increase and some people who are not. But then again, that might just be the individuals, the area where you live, and the acceptability and susceptibility of having gifts. The only gift I have is my mouth. Otherwise, I just pretty much don't know anything. But so there are people that saying, yes, this thinning is active, and there are people saying that this thinning is not active. And, maybe that's representative of our times, though. This year has been one complete hell after another, in my opinion.
Yeah, the energies have been all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen all kinds of different things. And talking about, being the veil being thin and being able to, make contact with our loved ones and stuff. I was lucky enough, I got to visit with my son who passed last night in my dreams. That was exceptional.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And sad, bittersweet, complicated. That would be complicated feeling. But yeah,
It is. But
I think people are really starting to have those connections and make the logic connections that the things I'm beginning to dream about are not just my subconscious going quietly crazy. These are real things. These are real interactions. And that's been
they are.
cool to watch. It's not just you going a little insane at night. It's real.
Yeah, it is. And more people are having their dream visions. I've talked to quite a few that are, have dream visions and have been having them for a long time and really didn't realize what they were. I've been, talking to people about before they go to bed, if they want to talk with loved ones, to go ahead and manifest the idea that, if there's a message, then, please come to me and let me know what's going on. Give me a message, or at least let me know that you're okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, for you, have you noticed what's the best way to identify, what's a dream vision and what is just your imagination happening? Is there anything that stands out for you?
Dream visions usually are, they let you know about things that are coming, things that are going to happen. They give you insight into, the possibility of this happening, that going on, being able to, like I said, talk to, family members, friends, whatever that has crossed over. A lot of people look at it as, well, it's just something I ate before I went to bed. Well, I've learned over the years that no, not really. There's usually actually something there.
Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of, are you really listening? Or hearing, or... Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot. Well, I remember dreaming this, but I don't understand what it's about. Do you have any idea? And we kind of go into, well, this is what it possibly is, or, watch for such and such to happen. If it was really vivid and you really felt like you were there, then, just kind of watch for things to happen. If it was a dream of maybe something happening to a friend, just, kind of casually mention to the friend that, maybe they want to be careful. If you don't want them to think you're crazy, just give them a slight idea about, well, maybe you better be careful, going back and forth to work, or watch where you're walking, or be careful of what you're doing. You don't have to scare them, but just put the idea there, or plant the seed that, maybe they need to be careful about what they're doing.
Yeah. And, that's also a thing, is you got to know with whom you're speaking, because not everybody hears the same message that you're putting out. So you may be trying to come at it from a truly loving point of view and saying, hey, be careful, have a safe trip or something like that. But if the person you're speaking with doesn't have the ability to hear what you're saying or isn't open to hearing what you're saying, then they're going to just blow it off and, oh, they're just being silly. They're, blowing things out of proportion. There's nothing really wrong, and we'll ignore you. So it's just, you got to know your audience and who you're speaking with. Because, I know, I know people that are really in tune, and other people who are just intentionally oblivious. And they would walk under a ladder and get spilled paint all over them, even if you tell them to not walk under the ladder. So, real quick, Deb, if you want to hang on the line, we're about to go to our last break, and I'll be right back if you're good with that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to go to break. We'll be right back.
Lord, within us, we will so much see the spell forever. Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, I call upon you in this hour. Bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are on our last section of the show. And we are still on the phone with Deb. So, hello, Deb. Are you still there?
Hi.
Okay. Excuse me. Are you drinking more coffee? I know I'm running out of steam. I gotta tell you.
I've gone to my watermelon drink now. So.
Oh, I see. The watermelon drink. I love it. That sounds really good, actually. Nom, 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 nom.
Oh, goodness. Sorry.
Although I am just about ready to. Man, I'm tired. It's been a long day. It's been a busy day. An energy intensive day, actually, I think, for me personally. Doing some stuff at work that wasn't necessarily on the clock. I guess so. I know you're more in touch with your spirit guides and such. Do they help you, navigate through the energies that you might encounter as far as, the potential for negativity or for an open doorway or open portal?
Yeah, they help me out a whole lot in most everything I do with the, per se, paranormal. If I have questions about anything, I go to them. Sometimes they'll kind of shove me in the right direction if I'm not going in the right direction. It's kind of like, no, back over the other way. If I go into a house and I'm specifically looking for something, they will navigate me in the right direction, yes.
Okay. That's good, though. And I know we've talked about it on the show before, but I see new faces in the chat room. If someone is trying to have a stronger connection with their spirit guides, what do you recommend people do?
For one, anything that you do, don't try too hard because you'll block yourself from getting your answers. You can meditation is very good to help you clear your mind and focus a little bit better. You actually can talk to your guides, get in touch with them, let them know that you're open to anything that they have to say to you. Old people used to call it that little voice in your head, and that's basically your spirit guides. They're telling you, yes, do this, or no, don't do that.
Your Jiminy Cricket?
They're wonderful. Yeah, kind of. They're wonderful to, every day, whatever. There's been times when I got lost going somewhere, and I just pull off the side of the road and talk. Now, I know I'm not going the right way. Can you kind of push me in the right direction? And I wait for a few minutes and then pull off, and I'd be going right exactly where I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. Ask them what their names are. I mean, it's more, you can talk to them, with your mind. Usually it's more the, telepathic thing between you and them. You can talk to them out loud, whatever. Ask them questions, if you're not sure, and they'll help you. Just, like I said, stay open to picking up any answers that you get from them. Just don't sit there and concentrate, because then you're just going to cause yourself to block any information that's coming through.
You're over-focused.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I had another question I wanted to ask, and It's just really not there.
Well,
Um,
we've from talking with Deb before, she likes to do when she was doing readings on the portal, she likes to do them on the new moons and things like
mhm,
that. So, because that's when, not necessarily the veil is thinner, but the connection is stronger because of the energy of the moon and the fullness and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it would make sense that, especially now, right now,
mhm.
would be the time to be open to that kind of thing. But I think Deb, a lot of people have a problem with recognizing their guides moving them, or their deities or their ancestors, whatever they want to call out to.
Mhm.
Mhm.
um what and unless you're really doing something wrong, they're not really going to slap you in the head. So if you're calling for help or you're calling for, some kind of guidance, what are the things you could look for?
Oh, they will do things like, um, you wonder why you're late going somewhere. If they know something's going to happen, they'll hold you back from going.
Hmm.
They will help cause you to be late because it could be there was an accident up the road,
Right.
and
Mhm.
had you been on time, you would have been right in the middle of it.
Mhm.
Something may have happened to you. So, I mean, little things like that, they will try to hold you back from doing something that could cause you harm.
Mhm.
Or if you're looking for lost car keys, say, lost glasses, just say, got any idea where they're at? And usually they'll kind of point you in the right direction.
Mhm.
So, um, it's not always big things, it's little things. But yeah, I found out over the years that the quirky little things that go on in our life is usually because our guides are working with us.
Mhm.
We don't always realize it. They're always there.
Mhm. Yeah, often they're the little quiet in the dark rather than the loud voice on your shoulder saying, "Turn left, you fool. Turn left." So, yeah.
Deb has told me that a couple of my guides are head smackers, so they're like, "Oh God, he did it again."
That's cuz you're stubborn.
Well, that's
Yeah, some of them are like that, yes.
Mhm. So,
Especially if you don't listen.
right? Exactly. So Titan asks a question. Do you see certain numbers that guide you, or is it mostly the spirit guides, communicating with you?
The numbers that we see, especially repeated numbers, are angel numbers. There are angels sending messages to us. You can look those up online. They will give you definitions of like 222, 1111, 555, anything like that. Anytime that you keep seeing a repeat of numbers, those are your angel messages. And go look them up, and it will let you know exactly what they're talking about, what they mean, what you need in your life, the information that you need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're very helpful.
Yeah, you just gotta listen to the message, Don.
Yeah. So Portable Tree also says it's confusing because sometimes things happen that are bad, but they don't step in because it's a lesson.
I'll say that's possible, but for the most part, working with mine or listening to somebody else's, I mean, it's step in. It's more a case that you're not paying attention.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's some of that too, or not. Just not open to receiving the message at that particular time. So, because I know that there have been times when I've asked a question and I'm pretty sure that I've gotten the answer, but because I didn't like the answer, I didn't really listen to it. So, and yeah, that happens.
Well, that, like, every aspect of the paranormal, too, you run into skeptics. And that will put up a block where, they're not really picking up any messages or information that they should be getting.
Yeah, skeptics. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone says, "Hey, I've got this spirit portal, this ghost haunting thing happening in my home. What do I do?" Is it something? Should people try to close that portal themselves, or should they, call in someone who knows what they're doing?
Well, it's kind of one of those. It depends. Sometimes it's not very bad. They can try to go ahead and close it themselves if they want to see if it works. I mean, there have been some people that I've talked to that have done it themselves. But then again, I've been called back in and said, "Listen, I tried. It didn't work. Can you make a run over here and see what you can do?"
Mm-hmm. So,
honestly, to have somebody come over and go ahead and close things for you, check it out to make sure that that's what it is, and go ahead and get things closed if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is better to call in someone who at least knows what they're doing a little bit. And it's kind of like a person's first seance is like, "Hey, I've never done this before, but I'm going to have a seance tonight." And that's probably not the one I'm going to attend. Just like, "Hey, I've never cleansed a house before, but I'm going to try it tonight." And yeah, that's, again, probably not the one that I would attend and move forward with. So it's just...
That's one of those things where if you decide that that's something that you want to do, you call in somebody, especially the first few times you do it, you call in somebody to help you out that can walk you through everything that you're supposed to be doing so that you make sure you're doing it right. Don't try to just step into anything like that because you're not sure what's going to come through. Don't know exactly what you're up against. You could be dealing with a whole lot more than what you expected, and then you're really going to have to call somebody in.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to make it worse before you make it better if you can really keep from it. If you
exactly.
From it, so.
I just realized what he was talking about. I didn't even know that was there.
Oh, Don apparently was taking pictures of an ironing board instead of his...
I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
I don't know if that's something I can do. Naysay is calling in too. He wanted to know if I could just join him. Can I do that?
Yeah, you should be able to do that.
All right. Hold on. Hey, Naysay, you're on too. Maybe?
Oh, hey, let me turn this down. Sorry.
All right.
There, can you hear me?
Yep. So Deb is on, and so is Naysay.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, Naysay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're acting like we haven't talked to each other. Ha, 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 ha. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, Paisley and Dawn.
You're welcome.
Happy Blue Hunter full super duper waka waka bang bang boodle moon.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
And everything else above.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One thing that I just wanted to add, and maybe Deb can add to it also. I'd love her thoughts on it. I would humbly suggest, if you have entities in your home, and if you are in the thought that there are portals in your home that have been opened, that because it is your domicile that is filled with your residue or your frequency or essence or power, that you use your power to manipulate the fields, not aggressively, but in a respectful manner. Acknowledge the entity and request for it to move on. And if that doesn't work, then you just kind of tune in a little bit more. You add a little bit more power or essence or energy to it. Because if it is an entity of positivity, more times than not, it will abide by your wishes. Some entities will want to remain because they're trying to connect with you, especially if they are semantics like guardian spirits or spirits that are attracted to your essence. Mm-hmm. If the entity is negative, then you may, and I humbly suggest, finding somebody else more experiences so that they can adapt to the situation, because every single situation will have its own merit. Mm-hmm. And sometimes even those that have been trained for years have challenges with all sorts of entities. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah.
What do you think, Deborah?
Oh, I agree. I mean, if you're dealing with like one or two entities that just happen to be there, yeah, you can ask them to leave. Don't push your luck with them. Be stern, just explain to them that they do not belong there. That's not their home, or that's not their space any longer. It's yours, and ask them to leave. You can't so much do that with a portal because you have, quite a few coming and going. It's not like they're just going to say, okay. You will find a lot of times they'll step across the portal, and then when you're not looking, they're going to come right on back. So it depends upon the situation that the spirits are there and how you have to handle it.
Well, as an Anishinaabe, we have a certain herb or plant that we will put together and we will burn it. And when you burn it and you walk around with your shell, mm-hmm. and you burn it, sometimes you will witness the smoke will go straight up, and then all of a sudden it takes a 90-degree turn. And I've witnessed this, when I had my sight, of course. Mm-hmm. But I've witnessed this several different times of when we do these things, because they will help, with your divination to direct you to the portals, because they can be anywhere. Mm-hmm. Depending on the time of the season would depend upon the strength of the veil or the ability to manipulate that portal. And some people can just with their fingers draw a circle, and it's a portal, depending on their intentions behind it. Mm-hmm. And so when you find these areas of where there are portals, I would humbly suggest that you do your warding or shielding techniques of, as a Anishinaabe, we use, the 4 sweetgrass, cedar, asema, and sage. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I pull out the big guns, I pull out things, but for the most.
Nay, say you broke up. When you pull out the big guns, you pull out what?
Oh, apparently I wasn't supposed to share that. Sorry.
He was like, wait, that was an important thing. Come back. Yeah, there are different combinations of things that you could burn or incense and that kind of thing that are more specific and when combined correctly are stronger. So, all right. Just checking the notes and the time because we're about 5 minutes out. So, last thoughts, Deb or Naysay. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, or real quick, or?
Yeah, just one last more thing. Universe has the ability within love without fear to generate the power to the intensity that you wish. You can take a glass of water, put your intentions into it, put it into a squirt bottle, and put it on mist, and you can use that and close portals. So you have the ability. So you just need to remember and recognize it and share the giggles. Love you, Deborah. Love you, Paisley. And
Love you,
love
Nate.
you, Don.
Night, buddy. Night, bud.
Thanks, Naysay.
Toodles.
So yeah, intention is a big deal, and I've talked about it on my show quite a bit. Make sure you set your intention before you do things. Portable Tree asked a question real quick, Deb, that I think we should address really quick. There's a lot of people out in the world right now saying they're getting a download from not quite sure where, but they're getting a download, and suddenly they're not. Sometimes they're selling courses, other times they're just pushing their whatever it is that they're pushing. What do you think of that? I am not sure what I think, but what do you think? The whole download trend right now.
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting a lot of people that seem to be picking up on downloads. I'm getting more people that are picking up, per se, vibrations on things. They feel like it's information that is being downloaded to them. Things like ringing in the ears, or I tend to, get more like what I call energy going through power line.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a download. It could be, messages coming through, because, the spirit world and all does work on a different frequency than what we do. It could be we're trying to get messages more than just, downloading things. So, I don't know. Possible, yes.
Justin said he thinks it's scary. I kind of do too, because it really, with everything that's going on in the world and the rise in ailments and disabilities and diseases, it also comes mental disabilities or mental, issues that people start to, and also let's throw in, the use of the heavier drugs, the more, and that's, it's scary that people are possibly, and this is my opinion, that people are possibly falling into this trap of, this happened, so this must mean that I'm a prophet, or this happened, therefore I am connected to the higher consciousness. Well, we're all connected. There is no doubt about that in my mind. But, these people, some people who are having issues, undiagnosed issues, and it is kind of scary to me that some people like that are running around in the world. And some people like that are, like leaders of mega churches.
Yeah.
So it is kind of scary. It is kind of scary to me. Yeah.
And Portable Tree, people are paying for it because they want a bite of the pie. They want to experience that euphoria. Just like everybody looking for, everybody wants the next buzz. So very, very similar. So, all right, Deb, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. And holy cow, the night is over
Yep, it's done.
for the Spaces Between. I'm going to set my moon water and probably fall asleep. So
Thank you, Deb.
thank you, Deb. I appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you for letting me be part of the show. Love you guys.
Love you too,
Thank
babe. All right. Have a lovely evening. I hope you get some rest. So, merry meet and merry
Good night.
part and merry meet, everyone. I thank you for joining, and I hope you have a happy blue moon and merry Halloween.